You gotta come over a little bit. Ah. Did you grind it out today? Did you? And today's gonna be a doozy of a topic.
No, it's not.
Hanging with the Joneses, episode 30.
We're grown out here.
Super grown, buying cars, hotel rooms.
I would say old enough to drink, but we've been there for a while.
Yeah. Getting drunk. Yeah, so again, just before I forget, I want you guys to make sure you like, share, subscribe. If you're listening to Apple Podcasts or Spotify or wherever, share it there too. Obviously it's good. Always feels good to see those numbers people are listening. And if you watching via YouTube, welcome. And like, share, subscribe on YouTube as well. Make sure you comment. Like, we be in the comments, y'all. So make sure
any questions,
you comments. You guys still want to talk about. You want to spark a conversation. Like, I may respond a little bit late, but we be in the comments.
Yeah.
Now that that's out the way, momentous occasion for us in our lives. Momentous occasion, and that is going to be our anniversary. Our anniversary lands on the 20th this year, Friday.
And we've been married for 17 years.
Yes.
Married for 17 years, together for 19, friends for 20.
Yep.
20 years. Like, just think about that. Like, I knew you my whole adult life. Because when you met, I was 17.
Yeah.
So our adult life, like, you've been in my life. So how we met, Norfolk State campus.
Yep.
It was my freshman year, just sophomore
Shout out
year.
Spartans.
And we actually met Scott Hall through Shannon. She brought me over just to introduce, I guess.
I don't know why.
Me. I don't remember why either, but I know I shook your hand.
Was Shannon your roommate? Yeah, I don't have no reason. There was no reason for you to come.
I don't know why either. I don't know. But I shook your hand, and then what happened from the handshake?
Yeah, super intrigued by the handshake. It was super firm, and I was surprised. I told my boys to come shake your hand too.
Yes, real quick. Yo, come shake her hand, boy. And mind you, I'm a freshman in college. I'm 17, so it was like, okay, this is real weird.
I mean, it was so appropriate because like her handshake was so firm and rugged. You know what I'm saying?
Rugged?
Yeah, it was like, put it there, pal. I'm like, oh wow. I wasn't expecting that.
And I remember in the band, we sat on the couch in Scott Hall, and I was like, them horny horns. And you was like, what?
I was like, nah, I play trumpet. I'm a dizzy act.
Right. And I was like, oh, I said something wrong. And I was inside. I was nervous one time. I was like, what? What? Yeah, I said it.
Yeah, so that's just like, and then I should have known. Like, I should have been intrigued. I should have been warned because it's just, number one. It's just a lifelong of being wrong and strong, and not really apologizing for much. So
that's what you liked.
I know. I don't like it now. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
It's one of those things where like you think it's cute at first, but it's not. It's not cute.
20 years later,
it's super played out now. I just want a real apology.
So when we went from there, we were friends, like for real friends.
Yeah.
And then our friend Candy, we on the low key trying to hook us up.
Yeah. Shout out Candy, man.
Hey Candy. But I kind of like she tried to hook this up, but it was real subtle. I kind of got it, but didn't. But I was in a relationship with someone. That was terrible. But I wasn't. So Rashad was my friend, not knowing that he was waiting in the background, waiting for my relationship for me to break up.
Hey, I'm just saying.
So he could come in like a hawk, like a hawk in the night, and I should pray.
Sleep. Yeah, so I was really, because I was super like the thing I want to get across is just how intriguing you were just as a person. Like you were very, very different. Another one of those things that early on that was very attractive is now kind of played out. Like I just need you to think a little bit like me, just on some stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like just sometimes I need to get to a place where you can agree. You know what I'm saying? How can two walk unless they agree?
So you need to agree with me, right? You need to agree with
me. Okay. Anyway, so I was really intrigued, and after a while, just hanging out and talking, and back and forth and forming an actual friendship, which I think was very, very key early on to the early success of our marriage. I just really liked you as a person. you know, and
But he was away from me after class, but I didn't know he was waiting for me. I thought he was waiting for my friend Candy.
no, I see her all the time. Like, there's no need for me to wait for her.
I said we put it together, but I was like, oh, he's waiting for her. And then one day when Candy wasn't there, she didn't come to class, and I was like, he's waiting out here, man. He don't know Candy's not didn't come to. I kind of thought, but I was like, no, that's not it.
No, yo, you just cool people, and I have a thing with if I'm cool with somebody, then like I'm cool with somebody.
And then I was chocolate and bow-legged.
That too, you know what I'm saying? So
I am chocolate and bow-legged. That was on his list, not the chocolate part, but the bow-legged one.
Yeah.
And I was super, super in fit. Like I was really cut up.
Yeah. Keisha looked like she ran track.
Yeah, and I couldn't run around the corner.
Nah, yo.
When you see me run, it's like, oh no.
Like
this is definitely one track.
Like this is sad. Like just walk fast. Don't run no more.
So how'd we go from there? One time coming in my second year, I saw you in the band room.
Yeah.
And I don't know why. I don't know why I walked through there, and he was there, and he just stopped and was looking at me, and it was so dag-nabbit awkward.
Yo, like,
I was like, what is he looking at?
Because I was super surprised that you was even there that early. Because I feel like we had like 4 or 5 days before school started, and people had started like trickling in. You know what I'm saying? It's because we had been there for like almost a month, like no joke. So between not seeing anybody, not having any life, just up at 6. Yeah, basically, yeah. Up at 6, sleep at midnight for like the past 2-3 weeks. And then the C was like, man, oh snap.
It was so awkward. He
kept
looking at me.
There go Keisha. I said, man, Keisha looks really good today.
So when he looked at it was so awkward. Like he was not saying anything, but had that face he just showed you.
I was super fixated. Like I can't even lie.
Yeah.
I was like.
So I was like, give me your number, because I was like, give me your number. I'm gonna call you. So we exchanged numbers. Rashad never called.
Nah, I was busy.
And then I think you called me once or twice to ask me if I want some food or want to go to Walmart, because I didn't have a car.
Yeah.
And your friends was going. So you was like, you want to go to Walmart? And then one time you was like, I was like, I think he likes me, because you was like, can I come upstairs so you can wash my hair?
Yeah.
And I said, sure. Got stopped at the door because there was no co-ed at that time. Norfolk State. Oh, Norfolk State.
Yeah.
There was no co-ed at that time.
Yeah.
So then how we end up the bonfire? The bonfire, I saw him dancing. I said, yeah, it's going to be on. I ain't going to say what I said. My parents will be watching.
Yeah.
So I called him out. I started and say, well, what happened if we be platonic? I'm going to clean it up. So he was in agreement with it. I wasn't looking for a boyfriend because, like I said, I just got in a relationship. So I wasn't looking, just a friendship.
Yeah.
Close to friendship. So that happened on Halloween. The bonfire was on Halloween. And then what happened? Somewhere November 20th, when it was about the time to take break, I was like, look now.
Yeah. So up until then, we were talking, you know what I'm saying, and everything that was cool. And yeah, right before break, sat down, and Keisha hit me with the pivot hard. I'm like, what is this?
The pivot was, look, how do you want to see this relationship? We can't be friends all day long. We can't be doing this all day long. So either we jump into a relationship or we break up. Like, I'm not for this. I'm not for that. I know I said I wasn't beginning, but I wasn't.
Yeah, like one of the first of many super confusing and contradictory conversations I've had with her, and that was the probably the second flag. You know what I'm saying?
Red flag.
Second red flag. Again, the first one was.
But what you did?
I said yeah.
No, you said you want to go out with me.
Yeah.
I said no. You asked me. I'm a lady. You gotta ask me.
You a lady. So
he asked me.
I was like,
and then I thought about it for a while. I was like, wait, hold on.
Yeah, like yo, like again, it's oh, red flag number 3. I'm like, I said this is stupid, yo. Like,
Let me think
this
about
doesn't
it.
even make sense at all. Like, why all the theatrics? You know what I'm saying?
And then of course I say yes.
Yeah,
eventually.
like. Like it's almost like like the movie. Somebody said like it's gonna happen, but they want to put you through all this drama just to get to the
This
the
is
end.
real life.
Yeah, but this really happened for real. So it was.
So by that time I was 18. I was 18 when we
Yeah.
started dating. You were
I was still 18. My birthday is to December, so
20.
I was not 20. Why you gotta look?
Going back. So eventually after my junior year, it was like technically kind of your senior year. We moved to an apartment. We moved in together.
Yeah.
We were shacking.
Yeah, she was shacking up.
We were shacking up.
Good time shacking up too.
It was like a safari, dude. What?
Yeah, yo, just all types of shacks. Shaquille O'Neal, you know what I'm saying?
So going back, I didn't know during that time where we was living together, Rashad was trying to ask me to marry him. I didn't know, and I shut you down hard.
Yeah, and I was like, what? Won't go down this route no more.
I didn't know that's like Rashad he don't come out and say things. He beat around the bush, and I'm not a good around the bush grabber.
What?
Around the bush.
Sounded real sexual.
Right. I'm not. So I didn't know what he was talking about, but he was trying to ask me to marry me, but I didn't get it. He wouldn't ask me like directly, like, "Would you marry me?" It was like some kind of what if this situation. I'm like, what are you talking about?
Yeah.
So I was praying to God. At that time we was super new, and I was super new in our relationship with God. And it's funny, even back then, only thing we need a requirement was like, you believe in God? I believe in God. Boom. It wasn't a requirement for you to actually like listen to Him, for you to go to church.
Do you have a general belief in the Lord?
You say yeah.
I'm cool with that.
We believers, we're Christians.
Yeah, we'll get to that part later. Okay. You know what I'm
saying? So I was sleeping because I was praying to God when we started living together. It started not to feel right. Like, no, we shouldn't do this. It started not to feel right for me. So I was praying to God. Is this my husband? Is this my husband? What should I do? Is this my husband? I promise you, it was like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. My phone rang. It was a flip phone. Phone rang. And I'm like, answer my phone. Nobody on my phone, which is why I'm like 3, 4 o'clock in the morning. You get nervous. Like, this must be a bad, think through the words. Nobody was on the phone. I was like, okay, I'm really bugging. Hang up. Phone rang again. Nobody on the phone again. And I hear the Lord speak and say, yes. At that time, I wasn't really hearing God's voice. I didn't know God's voice. So I said, yes. I was like, what? I'm like, look at the phone. I was like, super like, what just happened? And I was like, okay, this might be God. Let me sit here. I said, yes to what? And he said, remember when what you asked me, if you should marry Rashad? Yes. I was like, oh, snap. I am supposed to. So I told Rashad, I said, look, God told me we're supposed to get married. So either we get married or we can't keep living like this. So I don't know how you want to do it. You want to have another roommate? You sleep in the other room? You move out? I don't know how you want to do this. And you sit on the counter. You remember you sitting in the kitchen on the counter? What you said? You remember what you said?
So you want to get married?
That's exactly what he said, just like that. I was like, okay. He's like,
6 weeks.
November 20th.
November 20th.
Which is also the day he asked me to be his girlfriend. And I was like, okay. I didn't really believe it. I just said okay, but I didn't really believe it. So we called some friends and family. It was like, we getting married. It was very low key, not much. I thought.
Yeah, me too.
I thought.
I told my people on Tuesday.
I didn't want no one to come to the wedding. Initially we supposed to went to Justice of Peace. That's when Jackie called, was like, no, get married at the church. I'm gonna call pastor. It was super. It was concerning because it was like, we getting married and it was on a Thursday. It wasn't none of your traditions. So of course the question was, and the rumor was, I was pregnant. At that time, little did they know, the doctors told me I could never get pregnant. So that was definitely not an option because I couldn't get pregnant. So I'm like, no, God told. It's funny. People, it's easier to believe that I may be pregnant and get married because I'm pregnant, as opposed to believing that God told me it's time to get married.
Yeah.
Which was the truth. got married, wore the ugly brown dress. I went to class and everything that day because I didn't think we was getting married for real. Jackie actually was like, "Girl, what you doing?" And even the teacher was like, "Leave. Why are you in class? You getting married today?" I was like, "Yeah, you know." Even to walking down the aisle and saying like "I do" and all that. So we were super broke, so we didn't have rings. We did a hand ceremony.
Yeah.
Pastor Davis was really creative in that, so we was literally like
here and here and here. And this signifies, I was like,
together, one.
I was like, really?
We had no ring. We had no money to get rings.
Nah.
And we got, and his whole family was there.
Not my whole family.
His whole family was there. I didn't want no one to come. And I didn't, all that whole time, I still didn't believe. I actually almost thought about not coming. I told we can still live together. Just
That'd have been trash.
I told you that, remember? I told you, like, I was thinking about not coming at all.
Yeah.
So we were never really engaged. Back up. When we was in Norfolk State campus, we was boyfriend, girlfriends for a few weeks. And I told him, I said, don't propose, don't ask me to marry you until I get out of college. Let me finish college first before you ask me to marry you. Him, you remember your response? Yeah. That was
What?
his response.
Like, okay.
I just told him the rank I won. Mind you, we just started dating a few weeks, and I'm already telling. Looking back, I'm like, oh my gosh, why did I say that? But I told him, don't ask me. He didn't listen. He asked me to marry him in last year in college.
Yeah, I mean,
You didn't listen.
you wanted. I mean, that's what you wanted. So.
Oh, that's what I wanted. Okay.
Yeah, you wanted to get married. You said it.
So on a Thursday, November 20th, we got married. It didn't hit me until November 21st, the next day. I was like, yo, we're married. Also, I did not want to change my last name. I wasn't one. First of all, I never thought about getting married like that. It wasn't until we started dating I actually started thinking about marriage.
Yeah.
And I definitely never thought about changing my name. I did not want to change my name. My parents wasn't for me changing my name. I did not. I tried to hyphenate. Like, even that when we got married, I was trying to procrastinate. I was like, I ain't gonna go to Social Security to change my information. He was like, come on, let's go. I was like, dang. I signed it for you. And he pretty much changed my last name. I that was not something. I know, not your typical girl. Like, can't we get married, change my last name? No, I did not want to. He didn't want me hyphenate my name, so I took his last name on. Felt like.
Yeah, that's a non-negotiable.
Yeah.
I'd be super flexible about a lot of things.
He was not budging.
Not budging on that.
I had to. Like, it was so bad. I even told my gynecologist, like, don't you think he should? Like, it was bad. Like, we was trying to get parties to weigh in. Got married on Thursday. Then that was November 20th, January 23rd, on my birthday, I get pregnant.
Yeah, that was fun time.
In Atlanta.
In Atlanta, then Desiree came later on. It's yeah, that whole experience from January to October, I just want to explain how trash that was for me as a person. That was one of the lowest points in my adulthood, and I didn't even know it. That's probably, it's probably second or third worst times for me as an adult. So, I didn't have a job.
As soon as you said I do.
I get fired from my little Sorry Ticketmaster job.
No, what's in Ticketmaster closing?
Yeah, they were closing down, so I got fired from there, and I was basically Keisha's personal chauffeur.
But we only had one car too. We only had one car.
But still, I still was your chauffeur.
It's not like we only had one car. Looking back, the neighborhood we stayed in wasn't the best.
Yo, we was all in the hood, yo. It was so cheap.
I used to work 5 in the morning to 1 in the afternoon. Then go to grad school. Then I had I had like 1 or 2 other jobs. So I had 3 jobs and was in full-time grad school. It was rough. I don't know how I made it through grad school. But did it seem like when they say the first year is your hardest, would you agree?
I don't know. I don't think so. The first year wasn't the hardest because we was having marital problems. It was hard for me because I just feel like I wasn't contributing. I didn't really start contributing until right around Desiree was born.
Mm-hmm.
That's when I finally got another job in like August. Yeah, but the whole summer was trash.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like Keisha wake Keisha up at 4:00 in the morning. Keisha crying about something like she won't go to work.
I used to cry.
You know what I'm saying? I mean, literally tears in every morning because she was pregnant, hormonal. And then me having to wake her up and encourage her and then have to drive her to work, it was the worst.
Mm-hmm.
And also the worst was having to ask me every day, I look for a job. Have you looked for any jobs today? Has anybody called you back? Like it was not great.
Was computers like that then?
Yeah. You
Okay.
was still I was still trying to find jobs online, which I eventually did find it online and stuff like that. But yeah, it still sucks. And then, going to work, I was basically working a flex schedule at QVC, and that don't still suck too. Even after you had Desiree, like I couldn't really like be there. I had to go back to work because you was out basically. Your little was still a part-time job. And I had to go in, and it was real hard because you were down here alone. Nobody was there.
And then Desiree was sick a lot.
Desiree had a lot of health issues.
Mm-hmm.
We was basically just roughing it on our own. And then you ended up later finding out having postpartum depression.
Mm-hmm.
So it just was a rough go those months, like after Des was born. So a lot of those things we had to really grow up like real fast.
And even I asked before, some people ask like, why did you have a baby so quick? Why didn't you spend time being married before you had a baby? I'm like, I had an option. I was told all my life that I would never be able to have children, and I believed it. So when I got pregnant, it was kind of like,
what is this?
What, like when they told me, I literally passed out. I didn't think about me getting pregnant. I didn't think that would ever happen because I was told that it wouldn't happen. So that's why it wasn't, in a way, I really feel like it was God's timing.
Yeah.
Because I wasn't supposed to.
Mm-mm.
And you believe though.
Yeah, I did. I was super sure. Don't know why, but I've that's just how I believe in anything. If I think it's gonna happen, I feel strongly about it. And I'm gonna grind it out till it does.
But even in our relationship, by the time we decided to get married, that's one thing I asked for Shaw. Remember I asked you?
Yeah. He was like, "Yo, I can't have kids." I said, "Man, don't worry about it. You gonna have kids."
And I'm like, "No, for real. Like, I can't. So you sure you want to get married?"
I said, "Yeah, you're gonna have kids. It's okay."
And I'm saying, like, "No, stop playing. I'm telling you."
And I said, "Look, I'm telling you, you're gonna have kids. It's gonna be okay."
Mm-hmm. And then by the time I started believing it, until I started believing, and we had a child.
Yeah.
I was like, Dad, he was right.
Yeah, faith is something to hope for.
I didn't have faith.
Evidence of things not seen.
That was definitely you. But eventually I bought into it.
Yeah, you got like, you have, oh yeah. So another thing too that we had, like, getting to know each other and learning each other is just how one person can be a certain way and then another person can be another way, and then they have to meet in the middle. And then sometimes those things actually flip flop. Because like early on, like I just had like the ridiculous amount of belief in whatever. Like I think it's gonna happen, and you'd be like super skeptical about everything.
I agree.
And then at right around a certain time we was kind of on the same page, and then like that thing flipped, where I was super skeptical and he was like, "No, it's gonna be all right." That's just one of those weird things, how sometimes being around somebody for so long, you can take on their attributes and not even really really realize it.
Let me say, would you say the first red flag was that I told you not being on the same page about stuff? And this is kind of a benefit that some things you can't be on the same page about.
Yeah.
Like we both can't be depressed.
Nah.
Like someone gotta be optimistic about this.
Yeah, and that was my thing too. Like I was like, we both, like, I can't be mad the whole time too, because Keisha used to hold on, and still does to some degree, just hold on to stuff. Like, not a fan of letting things go.
Yeah, I got better.
Yeah.
Well, I wouldn't apologize either.
Nah.
Oh, apology was a big one.
Nah, you still don't be apologizing.
I do apologize.
You better, but you don't be apologizing for real. I can be wholeheartedly in the right. You'd be like, cool, what's for dinner? Like, you some trash, yo. You can't even apologize.
I do
You
apologize.
can't even admit that you're wrong at all.
But it started off like my bad.
Yeah.
I had to grow
yeah,
into
you be trying to make it a joke. Like, all right, yo. It's
That
gonna
was
be
funny,
it's
right?
gonna be cool, yo. Like, man, that was crazy.
Oh, in
No.
the beginning, that was I did not apologize. Like, I could cold heart, like, I did something. I would not apologize. And you could be like, all evidence is pointing to me. I'm like,
Nah, and then
I was like, Shaggy, I didn't do it.
and then
Nope.
if it was me, like, you expecting me to be up here, you know, like groveling and crying and like, you know, begging at for your mercy at your feet. I'm like, bro, I'm not doing like cool out, yo. I'm sorry, I messed up. I don't feel like I don't think you really mean that.
That's
Like,
the truth.
like, really? So you not now? So not only am I sorry, but I have to make you feel like I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Too?
Now tell me that's not something you have to make me feel like you're sorry. You see the side eye he gave when he just apologized, and that's how he gave me. And my thing is, I read body language. So if your words are saying I'm sorry, but your body language is like whatever, I feel your body language more than your words. See,
Yeah.
you see, right? That's exactly how he gave. So I know I didn't always believe it, but I have learned to apologize. But in our steps towards this 17 years, you honestly you have taught me a lot because apologizing. I was on like I was testing you, I was always testing him about everything, being faithful. I don't think there wasn't a test. I touched you about everything, and he passed. Of course, it'd be 17 years, but I touched, and I look back, I was like, that so wasn't fair. But also, young me, I didn't know I was necessarily testing you.
Yeah.
When I got older, look back like,
Yeah, I told you too. You wasn't believing me. I'm like, yo, why you always testing me? Yo, like, this is stupid. And you would say, I'm not doing anything. It's just what it. I'm like, yo, can't you really see what you're doing? Like, this is what happened last time. Same thing happened again. Now it's happening again. Like, how many times we gonna have to go through this? Like, I don't understand.
yeah. He passed the test.
Yeah, several times over. Like, like I don't even need this test no more. I'm not here
But
just
part
getting
of it,
extra credit.
even you said, and at that time, Rashad was absolutely right in this, that you had to be submissive or to teach me how to be submissive.
Yeah.
Is that how you worded it?
Yeah, and in order for me to do anything, I have to be the example to show you how to do it. I know that sounds very chauvinistic, but it's really not. Because in a relationship, if there's something that I want you to do for me, I have to first do it for you. So you can see like, oh, okay, he's actually now that behavior or that pattern can then be reciprocated. So that's and oddly enough, like I got it from Creflo Dollar, like, and I was really, I don't know, even back then I didn't watch him, but for some reason he was on that morning and he said that the one time where he wasn't talking about, you know, prosperity to my relationships. So he actually said, I said, man, that makes a lot of sense and it clicks. And then I actually started to do that. So some of the things that I wanted to be done and I wanted Keisha to do for me, I actually started doing them for her, and it started to reciprocate.
Yeah, I can't lie about that. You did. You hung in there. You know, we hung in there.
Yeah, we definitely did.
17 years later, 3 kids.
Yeah.
And it's just amazing, honestly, just amazing. So a lot of times we talk about to see our kid selves and now our adult selves, being able to have the opportunity to, you know, not always you have the opportunity to see each other transition, accept the transition and the change, and some of them sometimes welcome it.
Yeah.
We literally see each other from children to where we are now. You know, adulthood, young adults to middle age.
This is regular adults. Not middle age yet. He's trash. Yeah.
So you know, it's just like, wow, remember we used to do X. It's just amazing to see how we have developed, how you have developed. Those things that we thought was such a issue. Like, even going back to times we used to just sit there and just imagine how we want our future to look. Remember those days?
Yeah. And Yeah, we were so off. Like I don't.
I think some of it was quite on.
Yeah, some of it. I was like, yeah, it's interesting how things have unfolded, and I'm grateful for it. Like I really am. Like there's a lot of times you used to always ask me like, why do you love me? I'm like, yo, shut up. I'm tired of having this conversation. And even I know for you, it's just like you always want to have this verbal reassurance, and I just was like, I'm pretty sure you should know this by now. But one of the things that I used to always tell you is that you were not only like, besides me loving you, you were just the logical choice. Like this, us, we made sense to me in my mind. Like, and it just made sense. Like I got along with your people for the most part. You know, you was really open and accepting, and I really didn't want to do this to anybody else. Like I said, I'm not about to sit and do all this over again. It's too much work, too much effort, and not because I was being lazy, but because like I was content with what I had. And when I mean content, I mean happy. I don't mean like I didn't settle. Like I was very content with what we had, what we was building, even early on. And that was the part for me that made the most sense. Like, man, you were just like the logical choice. So
Especially being chocolate and bow-legged. And then, but let's talk about that. If we think about how you wanted your wife to look, we talked about this several times, or how I wanted my husband to. It's not. You thought your wife was gonna be light skinned. We got totally.
yeah,
But I felt like it worked. Honestly, everything that I prayed for, even though I said I never did want to get married, I did pray for a spouse. Everything I prayed for, Rashad was or is.
thanks.
And
I'm great
go.
like that.
So honestly though, so other than the light skin, I think you got what you think. You got what you prayed for.
Pretty much, pretty much. Yeah, I did. And like I said, like you would definitely, and we're gonna close on this because we like 30 minutes in. The thing that people need to realize the most too is when I was young, like I already knew that I could not be with anybody that would not challenge me. And for better and worse, you have been a challenge. You know, the fact that you do think differently, everything is from a very like, obtuse place sometimes, where like it makes sense. And like sometimes your methodology and your way of doing things is very it's just obtuse. So that in and of itself made me look at everything differently. To have you there to make me consider things that I hadn't, and really strive to learn to work together with somebody in a different way. I never had to work with nobody like this. So that part of our relationship made me a better person, because like I told you before, these things I work on with you transfer to everybody else. So you was like, you gotta be nice to me. I'm like, look, if I gotta be nice to you, I'm gonna have to start being nice to everybody else. So you can't be mad about that. And he was like, okay. And it took a long time for me to get to that niceness. But those type of things that I knew I couldn't do on my own, that you were able to fill in those gaps and fulfill for me. And that was like another reason why this is a logical choice. Aside from you being, bow-legged and chocolate. Even though you're not chocolate, but that's another issue, another day. We already talked about colorism. So episode's back. I'm gonna check that one out. But yeah, that's really all I got for this.
Well, happy anniversary.
Happy anniversary.
17 years.
Yeah.
19 together.
Mm-hmm. Hang with the Joneses. I'm Rashad. I'm Rashad.
I'm Keisha.
Till next time.